Hello everyone, Emoji Movie Channel here, and I'm here today to review another movie. Today I'll be talking about the latest Pixar film, Lightyear, the first Pixar film to get a theatrical release in 2.5 years. At the time of me recording this, I went to see this yesterday, and I gotta say, it was refreshing to see their movies back on the big screen again. Although quality-wise, I don't think their movies came back in the best way possible. I'm not one of those people with the mentality that Pixar making movies that aren't masterpieces means the studio is dying, but I can't really say Lightyear was all that great to me. That's not to say it was bad, because I thought it was pretty decent, and I can't say I'm really underwhelmed by it. The trailers for this one did look a little interesting, but they didn't completely sell me on the idea of a Buzz Lightyear movie. I mean, sure, an origin story for the Buzz Lightyear toy would probably be more interesting than an origin story for, like, Ham, but I wasn't really sure if it can carry an entire film. But thankfully they did find some interesting story material to work with, and it works pretty well as an origin story for Buzz Lightyear. Although it does kind of fail at establishing its own identity and being anything other than the Toy Story Buzz Lightyear spin-off movie. For the first 10 minutes or so, it felt like the movie was just shouting, "Oh, OMG, remember Toy Story? Oh, it's Buzz Lightyear, yay!" There are some jokes where they incorporate this element well.
No matter the cost, you will never quit. Whatever the galaxy may throw your way, will you please turn that off?
It's just too easy.
You're mocking me, aren't you?
You see, that's a clever callback, but all the other times it's just obnoxious with how it keeps reminding you of the other 4 movies. They really want you to know this is a Buzz Lightyear movie, and they'll talk down to you so you can remember. I'm being 100% serious because after the Pixar logo, the first thing that pops up is some text that reads,
"In 1995, Andy got a toy based on his favorite movie. This is that movie."
I already knew that when I walked into the theater, and I know what Toy Story is. Can you please shut up? That's more of just me nitpicking though, because this stuff was toned down after the first 10 minutes, and I appreciated how it started to feel more separate as a spin-off movie. I gotta say, what they did with Buzz's character here was a pretty interesting direction to go in. In the other Toy Story movies, Space Ranger Buzz was always portrayed as this hero who thinks he can help and save everyone, and they actually built upon that idea here, and I thought that was really clever. At the start of this film, Buzz accidentally strands his entire Space Ranger crew on a distant planet, and he then tries to find the technology to get them back home, thinking he can save them all. Gotta hand it to Pixar, that's a really smart character setup. I found Buzz in this movie really compelling at first, because it's clear he wants to do anything in his power to get these people back home, but he ends up throwing his life and friends away in the process. They incorporate this element into the movie in a really smart way, by having time move slower for Buzz whenever he tests the new space technology, causing his friends to age much quicker than he does. I really love the dynamic between Buzz and Hawthorne, and seeing Hawthorne live a full life before Buzz's eyes as he doesn't age at all is really emotional. This section of the movie got me really interested in his character, and I thought it could be a great setup for a compelling arc for Buzz. But man, it sure is a shame they didn't go through with that. After about 40 minutes, they abandoned the plot about Buzz wanting to get the people back to Earth and just jumped to an entirely different story. Buzz accidentally travels 22 years into the future, where the planet is now being attacked by Zurg. I don't know why they decided to switch plots like this, because the first one was really interesting, and with a little retooling, it could have filled the entire runtime. If they slowed the pacing down and focused more on the characters, this could have been an amazing and even heartbreaking Pixar movie. However, this is still the Buzz Lightyear movie, so I guess we gotta have Zurg in here somehow. Okay, whatever. I wouldn't mind the switch if the second half of the movie was actually good, but I just found it really by the numbers and mediocre. After going to the future, Buzz has to take down Zurg with the help of an unqualified team, and when they introduced this, I was actually kind of excited for where it would go. Maybe this movie could have been like the Suicide Squad in space for kids, that'd be awesome. But they execute this team up in the most generic way possible. Buzz has to learn to value the other members of the team and see them as more than just dumb rookies, which has already been done in so many other movies. This went from a character study of Buzz Lightyear and his desire to be a hero to what just feels like a generic animated kids film. I was really disappointed that they went this route, but it did get saved a little bit by the likable characters. I enjoyed all of them, and the dynamics they share are really fun, especially Buzz and Izzy. I also really love the old lady character who's obsessed with explosives. She's a really funny character to watch, and like I said, she reminds me of someone you'd see on the Suicide Squad, which added a hint of fun to this movie. The overall comedy the movie has is decent too. Nothing too funny, but I did get quite a few chuckles and smiles from the fun character interactions. Not to mention Socks the Cat is great, and Peter San does an amazing voice job. So the movie's a decently enjoyable time, but it does still get dragged down by some really poor writing. The main problem is it just feels like the writers are making up whatever they want along the way, and it makes the movie feel muddled. Not only was there that giant story shift, but after that, the movie just follows the writing format of and then. Buzz meets the crew, and then some robots attack, and then Buzz needs to find another ship, and then Buzz finds another ship, and then some bugs attack, and then the crew lands on the dark side of the planet, which had never been mentioned before, and then the crew gets trapped in cones, and then the viewer of this video gets my point. It just feels really messy, and I definitely think some of this could have been revised or cut. But if you think that stuff is bad, we haven't gotten to the most random and weird part of this movie. The plot point that comes out of nowhere and makes practically no sense. But it is a big spoiler, so you can just skip to this time to listen to my final thoughts. But if you don't care about spoilers, then strap yourselves in, because this is gonna sound really weird, and I don't have clips of the movie to back it up. Okay, so the big twist is that Zurg is actually Buzz from the future. Yeah, he time traveled. Okay. From what I remember, future Buzz / Zurg got in trouble for stealing the same spaceship that normal Buzz stole, and then he went far away and found some robot technology, and then he somehow inexplicably traveled back to the past, and he started attacking the planet for some reason, so he can... Wait, no, he wanted to change normal Buzz's mind about something. This is one of the weirdest and most bizarre plot twists I've ever seen. Like, I apologize for everything I said about the Bob's Burgers villain. If you listen to that plot description, you might be thinking, huh, this sounds similar to the Lego Movie 2. And you'd be correct, because it is similar to the Lego Movie 2. Although not only is that movie just better in general, and Rex Dangerous is a much better villain, but this makes way less sense in the Lightyear universe. The Lego movies are known for being crazy and comedic, so it's not hard to buy into the idea that Emmett would travel back in time to manipulate himself. But Lightyear is supposed to be grounded, kind of. I can buy into the sciencey stuff about the movement of time when Buzz is in space and all that, but then it just gets really stupid towards the end. And they never even explained how future Buzz went back to the past in the first place. Due to these crazy elements being introduced at the last minute, it kind of makes the climax really awkward and weird to watch. It wants you to take it seriously, but I can't really do that with all this crazy time travel stuff and all that. Yeah, I honestly thought Zurg was a very weak villain, and his motivations didn't make all that much sense. To be honest, I don't even think this movie really needed a complex villain. I mean, he's Zurg, you can just leave him as an evil robot and the movie would still work. Although, I will give him this, his design is really cool, which can be said about the rest of the animation as well. It took me a little while to get used to Buzz's realistic face since I'm so used to looking at this, but otherwise the animation is phenomenal. Great textures, interesting setting, and the sci-fi elements are really well done and make the movie feel really cool. So I definitely wouldn't call Lightyear a bad movie. I had a fun enough time watching it, but I'm not sure if I would really call it great either. It is cool animation and fun characters, but the writing is really weak and what ultimately drags the movie down for me. And I'm still in the process of deciding whether I like this more than Turning Red, which I still have not reviewed. Still, it's definitely worth seeing if you're interested in it, and it's a decent watch. I'm going to give Lightyear a 6.5 out of 10. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed, comment down below, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.